Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis, and today we are going to be talking about Cspr. This is probably one of my most bullish assets that I'm holding right now, and honestly right now, in terms of what is happening with a lot of the Cspr Labs sort of price targets and stuff, it is getting very, very bullish. Okay, and when we're talking about what is happening right now within this entire scene, we talk about layer ones, doing extremely high price targets. We were talking about Solana, Avalanche, and stuff like that. These are prices that we haven't really seen pretty much come to Cspr in a very long time. Of course, we talk about the ICO. We talk about, where it pretty much went to during that time. But in terms of Cspr right now, it has a ton of upside potential. We're looking at the market. We're looking at the weekly candle closes today, seeing what's happening with Bitcoin. Obviously, Bitcoin trying to fight back to 60K. It did peak over 60K just a little bit today. But in terms of Cspr has been making some price moves today, up about 10%. Trading volume up about 17% almost. We did hit some highs here. We hit about almost 17 cents up here, and right there, sorry, I couldn't get it, but about 16.5 cents. And of course, we are kind of trading sideways a little bit, kind of consolidating for the next major move up. But in terms of what I've been seeing, first off, I seen a tweet today from Kevin Cage, and of course, I concurred with it because he is saying if you look at the weekly Cspr Bitcoin chart, you would sell all of your Bitcoin for Cspr too. And I actually said this in yesterday's video, not so much selling Bitcoin, but I said in yesterday's video that we're looking for a massive breaking point on Cspr, and essentially we're getting that right now. And I said, she's a diamond in disguise, but soon everybody will be buying. And this market has a funny way of working, right? I seen Solana break over like $100, and everybody was looking to get into it, not knowing that you could have bought it for like literally like $5, a few months ago. So when we're looking into this market, Cspr is going to be just the same. In terms of what's happening, in yesterday's video, I talked to you guys about the next major price targets. In fact, I said that the next major price target was about this point here. We see a breaking point over that. In terms on the daily, right? So yesterday we hit, resistance at this line that I have on the chart. But now we see us peaking over it and breaking strongly above it. Now we're retesting the major resistance going back to the 16th and the 15th. If we could break over this, flip that point into, support, because that is a little bit of a resistance point, just so you understand on the daily. I think that we pretty much target this point up here, and we can pretty much just make it so that the top of that candle is exactly there. So 1836 as the major point right now lies on the chart, right? Now, once we do break this point, I think that we really will target 24 cents very fast from our current position. Now, if we could flip this into support, or possibly, just retest about 18 almost and a half cents as support, pretty much turn this into the major support zone, I think that we could pretty much, range all the way much higher, probably to about $1 plus very fast, because these are gems that could have that massive upward potential that Solana had. We talk about Avalanche and stuff like that. A lot of these other assets that are doing incredibly well within the scene. Now, of course, a lot of these, when I talk about these other assets, some of them are layer one, some of them aren't, but we talk about these assets that move very fast because there's no difference between Cspr and other assets. A lot of these, crypto, assets that we talk about, these altcoins have the potential to move very, very fast once they do break out of their wedges. And right now, Cspr is breaking out. It was made for the breakout earlier this week as well. This is a massive, bull flag. I mentioned this yesterday. I said Cspr is in this huge bull flag formation, and the next major price move after this is going to be significant, because that's what bull flags are. Bull flags are bullish. And when we looked at this, yesterday it looked a lot different, and now we're seeing us break over the 256 sat level, which I should say is major support going back to the 17th, 18th, and even the 19th, flipping this into support. And now we're pretty much ranging to test a major resistance point, which essentially is, you could say that is the top of the 16th candle from November. But realistically speaking, the major resistance point from here is actually up here at this 301 sat level. Of course, you could argue that there is some at 285, but I'm actually going off of the 301 sat level. Now, on the weekly chart, just like Kevin Cage is saying, yes, we look extremely strong. I would say that this is probably one of the strongest looking Bitcoin charts that we have within the altcoin market right now, and I think that Cspr is just one of those gems that is extremely strong, especially compared to most assets. I think that we were more than ready to jump out on the USDT chart. We can kind of look at that before Bitcoin started to drop in price. And I've mentioned this in yesterday's video. I don't want to go over it too much because I know that a lot of people are probably like, well, dude, we just heard this like yesterday. But I just want you guys to understand that we're so close to the major parabolic breakout on Cspr. But a lot of those people who bought the 13-cent dip, you're in some profit here. It's nothing crazy, but I just want you guys to understand that those levels down there, I don't think that those are going to get tested anytime soon ever again, in my opinion, of course. But of course, tonight is the weekly candle close. I think that this is going to be very good for us. I think that it's going to be very bullish for us as well, because we're at some high grade targets here. Now, also, we do see that the ecosystem is growing. The community is growing. We see Cspr trading community has grown 50% plus in a month, almost 3K members now. If you're a trader that uses crypto socials and sentiment as an indicator, you'll appreciate the exponential increase in active community members. And they are growing. It's growing continuously, by the way, I should say as well. And like I said, I suspect that this is going to grow more and more, especially as the price does go up. Because when we're talking about a lot of the assets in this space, not a lot of people were talking about Cardano at 15 cents, and then all of a sudden, boom, it runs to like $2 plus, and all of a sudden the retail FOMO kicks in. We see Coinbase listings at like $1. Solana is another one like that. We talk about Polkadot a lot. Avalanche, again, Avalanche is one of those assets that has ran significantly, and when we're talking about the retail FOMO, it kicked in when it was already at some major high targets. And I think when we're talking about Cspr, the same is going to happen. Just we're a little bit farther away from Casper's major FOMO event, because I think that we need to hit some higher targets. But I will say this. Okay, with the major markets that it's already on, or the exchanges that it's on, we still have some major exchanges to still list us, like Binance. We still look at Binance. We look at Coinbase as well. Crypto.com, I know that we have a Crypto.com listing. I just don't know the base point behind it. I didn't look too much into it, but maybe it wasn't announced. Maybe it's not in full, partnership just yet. But once that does go live, we still have a lot of exchanges to really kind of list us for that retail FOMO, and I think that this is going to grow astronomically at that point. And of course, we do see here influencers are talking about high gas fees with Ethereum, and are looking at what has already exploded, like Solana, Avalanche, etc. They're missing out on the best blockchain ever created, Cspr Labs. Cspr, it is basically Ethereum 3.0, a perfect blockchain. And when we're talking about Cspr, right? I've always talked about it being Ethereum 3.0. I've discussed this multiple times. And when we're talking about Cspr and the ecosystem that it's building, it's growing day by day. I don't see this being worth less than $10 billion very, very soon. And just so you guys know, at $5 billion, we will essentially be worth $2. At $10 billion, we'd be almost worth $4, which I think that this is achievable. I think that this is really achievable. $10 billion is not that much at all, especially when we're talking about altcoin rotations. Now, we also see our enterprises are building on Cspr network. Right now, Cspr offers the features of Ethereum 3.0 today. Cspr is optimized for mass adoption, developer-friendly, and has stabilized and fair gas fees. Now, a lot of these use cases that he is mentioning here, he or she, I don't know, but we do see here are some Cspr use cases with many more in the pipeline ready to be announced. And I just want you guys to understand, ready to be announced. There still hasn't been a lot of stuff, announced, or, there hasn't been partnerships that have been announced or anything like that. There's still a lot to be made up here. So when we're talking about this, we do see here including exclusive NFT projects and NFT marketplaces. And here are 4 of those many use cases that have already been built. And I don't even think people realize that we're just seeing the tip of the iceberg just yet for Cspr. Like, we're still extremely early in Casper's infancy stages. There's still a lot to be built. There's still a lot to be, announced. There's so much more coming for Cspr in terms of the ecosystem as well. But we do see our Cspr Network announces NFT security solutions as quarterly sales surge past $10 billion. This is very good. We're still seeing the ecosystem grow and thrive, like I've said. We also see here payment and transfer of an NFT as one atomic transaction is powerful, more so when they represent physical things like whiskey cask, patents, IP, and now previous jewels. There's so much more coming for this space, but we talk about NFT tokenization a lot in terms of physical and even digital, and Cspr looks like it's building a huge NFT marketplace. It has many, NFT partnerships as well, and like I said, with the fixed gas fees and stuff, I see this definitely giving, Ethereum a run for its money, and that's why I always say, look at the base points here in terms of Ethereum 3.0 already being built in front of our faces, while Ethereum 2.0 struggles to become a thing. We also see here when you realize what Cspr is doing with real-world use cases, it might already be too late, especially with NFTs. NFTs for whiskey cask, NFTs for precious stones. Cspr network team is not here to play. They are silently taking over, and that is the truth, right? Silently taking over, and I want you all to understand, silently taking over. We're almost at 17 cents. We're still ranging around the 16-cent zone. I've been talking to you guys about this since we've been around this 9-cent zone down here. It is only, beginning here. This is just the bottom level of what Cspr has already been in terms of price appreciation, but we're also at just the tip of the iceberg in terms of the ecosystem growth and partnerships and development. We also see here Cspr Association, a core technology for the evolution of blockchain technology, today announces a solution to security challenges that threaten to slow or halt the adoption of non-fungible tokens. Like I said, they're continuing to build out the NFT ecosystem. They're also building out the entire ecosystem for Cspr entirely as well. And that is why I'm saying, right? Once we start to get more listings like Binance and stuff, there's still major listings to happen. The amount of volume that will flow over Cspr, like right now we're at $50.5 million in volume. Okay, just so you understand, the top 100 coin. Okay, let's go down here. The top 100 coin is ZIL with $62.6 million in volume. Okay, and I just want you guys to understand, I know that that's not too far away from us, but just imagine when we're having like, $200 million worth of volume, we're talking about $500 million worth of volume. Like, the volume hasn't even flowed in yet for Cspr, and it's still ranked at number 172. So for us to get into the top 100, the volume is going to be a lot higher. The price obviously will have to be a lot higher. I don't know what ZIL's... Let me go to ZIL's market cap, and let's actually analyze that in terms of coin perspective. So 1.14, we can kind of just compare that real quick. So let's go to ZIL. So at ZIL's current price, we would be at 48 cents. And if you guys look at the chart, 48 cents is not too far away. Obviously, I know that we still have a lot of room to move there. But 41 cents is the last major resistance point, which is on the micro levels. I know that there's not too much back here that you could actually see, but on the micro levels, like the 4-hour, you could actually see the 41 cents being the major resistance point there. But there's not too much standing in our way to get to the top 100. And like I said, that's only the top 100 for Cspr. I think that this is an easy top at least 50 coin. Of course, I have a lot, higher expectations for it long term, like, top 10 of course. But just to get into top 50, we would have to have Avi's market cap. And at Avi's market cap, we would be worth about $1.42, which I've always told you guys we could easily see $1.42. I've said $4 to $7 by at least some point in time, maybe possibly by the end of this bull run, because $17.8 billion is really not that much. And when we're talking about the all-time highs and stuff for this has a lot of upside potential, and I think that the ceiling is well beyond what a lot of people are seeing. I think that the sky's the limit for Cspr, especially with what they are building, what they are doing. The innovation is continuing, the development is continuing. It is looking very juicy. So with that being said, I hope that you all enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on. If you guys want more free content, you guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, I hope that you all have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.